Welcome back to another episode of This Takes the Cake. I am here with Laura Ashley Catering. Laura Ashley, in the flesh, my very good friend. We've been doing this a million years together.
Yeah.
And you're like my go-to.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it.
being
We
that
love
your
working with your
go-to.
team. We know it's always going to turn out amazing.
Good.
Recently, we were just together on Saturday.
Yep. Yeah, we were at Lady Jean Ranch.
Yeah, we were there. We were together Saturday. We were together. You did my holiday party, my grand opening. I was super excited about that.
And we were together like a couple weeks ago for another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great because when you have the vendors, we talk about this all the time, when you have the vendors that you know you can trust and do a great job, it just makes the wedding day so much more seamless.
Yeah.
I know we did a wedding a few years ago at the ranch, and wasn't aware of the catering company, but apparently the girls told me he came out and made a speech on the microphone about the food.
What?
And they were like, what is happening right now? And he's like, and your first course is going to be this, and this whole thing.
Oh my
And
Lord.
the girls were like so weirded out by it.
Yeah.
So how did we connect a million years ago? I know we met at a bridal show. I was eating all of your stuff for brides.
Yes, we always bring food at bridal shows.
So have you done a recent bridal show or no? I haven't done one in a while.
I try to do like 2 a year, and I reached out to this one company that I like using now. Just to, everybody's gotten engaged over the holidays, so I try to do a couple a year. But I typically I'm the only caterer at a bridal show. I still think it's a moneymaker.
I think so too. And the last one I did was very much. It was kind of like distracting because it didn't feel like a bridal show. There were like butt implants and like all these other things going on and teeth whitening. And I'm like, this doesn't, I get that that could be utilized for a wedding, but it didn't feel like there were a lot of wedding vendors there. So I kind of was like, So I'm being a little bit more picky on my bridal shows.
Yeah.
Our first wedding, I looked back because I wanted to have some history, was a million years ago. It was Emily and Sean's wedding. We love them.
Yes, I still have my cup, Emily. I love my cup.
And we're hand washing. So funny. So we worked together on that one, and I think the first thing that caught my eye, obviously I knew your food was good, but the plating. You put so much love into your plating and personalization.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah,
And
that's a lot of fun. I mean, because otherwise you're just throwing a steak on a plate. You have to put a flour on it. You have to do microgreens. You have to jazz it up. It's their wedding. I mean, it's the biggest dinner party that they're ever going to throw in their whole lives. And typically catering, the client spends the most money on catering.
It's true. It's true.
So you got to give them something, give them a show.
Yeah, and I think we always tell our clients, like, people will not remember if you had bathroom baskets. People will not remember how many votive candles you had on the table, but they're going to remember if they didn't dance all night and if the food sucked.
Yeah, or if grandma busts the tables, you can't have that. You can't have that.
No, if grandma's busting the tables, we got a bigger problem.
Have the staff. Hire the staff.
So tell me a little bit about how you started the catering company, how you got into culinary and all the details.
Yeah. So, I've like I was telling you before earlier, I've always had a subscription to Martha Stewart Wedding Magazine. Always loved weddings ever since I was like 12 or 14. I thought I was going to be a planner, but thank God I didn't go down that road. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you do it. I swear to God. And so then I kind of stumbled into culinary school, and I volunteered a lot in school, and it was always catered events. Mm-hmm. So I never was a restaurant person, and I was a picky eater. And then when I went to culinary school, I was like, oh my God, I have to try all these new foods. So culinary school really opened my world. And then I just kind of fell into catering. And then as far as getting into weddings, it became my niche because there wasn't very many girls in the industry.
That's true.
I got started and there was like no women in cooking, like 17, 18 years ago. And then
did you feel that was going to be like an uphill battle from there?
No, but I mean, I just got used to like working with the guys and, just kind of making my way. And I think that's why I started my own business, because I looked at these men, no offense, but a bunch of yahoos. And I was like, I can do this better. And I was the one keeping the chef organized anyways. I was the girl that was dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And
details is very important.
And following, chef, it says, this, keeping it organized. So I think that's kind of how I stepped into the whole wedding world.
And you do corporate, you do weddings, you do cocktail parties.
We do everything. Yeah, a lot of charities,
What's your favorite?
Corporate. I love a good cocktail party. I mean, I make the most money,
Really?
doing a cocktail party. We're in, we're out, 3 hours, 8 past apps,
Easy.
spent $200 on the food. I mean, I love cocktail parties, but weddings, I think my heart is there because of the beauty, the camaraderie. You know, I love this is a girl business. I love hanging out with my friends every weekend, and you know,
it's true. We have a lot of friends
beautiful
in the industry.
events.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends in the industry. We all understand. It's like we have a secret language. We can look at each other and know what's going on straight away. You have to be cute on timelines and layouts and making sure that all of our stuff is tight because speeches, salads, plating, you obviously don't want your team out there serving salads during speeches and things like that. So we always make sure we're communicating with you guys along the way as well. What do you think sets you apart from other catering companies? Nothing to put you on, not to put you on the spot right off the bat.
Well, you know, it's quality over quantity. I'll tell you that. I'd never wanted to be that caterer that has 9 weddings in a Saturday. And we all know that caterer that does. And the food sucks, the details suck. So I only do 2 weddings a weekend. I keep it very boutique just to keep my sanity because, you know, we all have to have a job, but we don't have to kill ourselves. You know, I pay my bills. I pay my staff very well. I think being boutique is the secret for me because catering is hard. I mean, it is.
You have a lot of logistics. You have a lot of rentals, and you include like a level of rentals in your catering. Not to mention all your kitchen equipment, because you basically bring an entire kitchen to each event.
Oh yeah, I can go in a field and make a wedding. Like you can put me in a horse paddock, and I'll give you a wedding. As long as there's power,
you're good.
Yeah, as long as if we got a generator, I'll be fine.
When you came and you did our grand opening a few weeks ago, and remember you got here, and I was all excited. You're like, "Where's my kitchen?" I was like, And then,
your office?
Think of that.
Okay.
Yeah, my office, everything was moved to the side, cleared the desk. They had everything set up like a mock-up kitchen. And I was kind of like, this is awesome.
My Did your office smell like crab cakes the next day?
It smelled so good. I was like, this is great. My office has never smelled better.
Yep.
That's hilarious. So, and I think that one thing on our end that sets you apart is your plating and your design and your inspiration. You personalize it for each and every couple and individualize. You have your menus, but I've been to tastings with you. I've been to tastings with different clients. You know, we've done barn weddings. We have a Flagler Museum wedding coming up. We do, you know, completely different level of aspect of guest counts and everything and vibe of the wedding.
Yeah.
You know, we did the one and you had like, what were they, Cuban egg rolls in your cigar box?
Yeah, Cuban spring rolls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those in your little
in a cigar box. Yeah.
Those are so cute. And I'm always telling photography to like make sure they take your pictures and take the pictures of your plating because it's really, really beautiful. Do you remember that wedding? So it was Emily and Sean. I'll never forget them. They were the most amazing couple ever. And she made us cups.
Yes.
She made us cups. We still have our cup. I still have my cup. You still have yours?
It's my beach cup. Yeah, I take it to the beach. And then I've texted her before. I'm like, I still have my cup.
I love her. They're so cute. They were so much fun. And I remember she wanted an animal during cocktail hour at her wedding.
Yes.
And I had to reach out to the venue and they were like,
what did she do?
She wanted
like
a
birds
sloth.
Or something. She
did
have a sloth.
No, she didn't because they wouldn't allow it because, well, they said, okay, so they had to be under 30 pounds. And they said, you know, we've done it before. And I was like, wait, there's another sloth at a wedding? This is very unique. And she said, just keep in mind that the last sloth ate all the bouquets. And I'm like,
well, someone wasn't watching those damn bouquets. I mean, a sloth doesn't eat very fast.
And they don't move very fast. So who got to it?
That's crazy.
Who was on sloth duty? And she wanted a beverage burro, which was like a donkey that walked around with drinks, and they wouldn't allow that.
A tequila donkey. That's the hottest thing.
Tequila donkeys are the hottest thing. No shit.
Yeah, and the planner that like really like unveiled tequila donkeys like 10 years ago. She's here in West Palm Beach. Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, Jennifer Hardiman from
That's
Fabulous.
Amazing.
Yeah, she was like the original tequila donkey person. Yeah.
I'm sure she'll love to be known by that.
I tell her all the time. I'm like, remember that donkey?
That'll be Becca's gift at her wedding. She's getting a tequila donkey to pass out shots.
Hey, you got to do stuff that, you know, that people are going to remember, and you got to make it your own. I mean, that's what you're spending all this money.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't make it cookie cutter, you know, get creative. Behind
the scenes viewers, Becca is telling me I'm number one. So what do you see? Is the tequila donkey still hot right now?
I think so. Like if you're having a Baja Mexican wedding or something. Fun. I mean, it's
Cinco
fun.
de Mayo party?
Yeah.
Oh,
anything.
Hell yes. I'm there for it. And anything with guacamole and tequila, I'm all for it.
Yeah. I think any little animal during cocktail hour, any fun entertainment aspect for that hour,
She
think
did.
it's
We ended up
amazing.
doing birds. It was the
Like I remember there
she
was an
had
owl.
owls.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had owls at her cocktail hour, and it was a donation to like the wildlife sanctuary, and they came and they walked around with these owls.
Yeah.
Which was super unique, and I haven't done that since. But
Remember
I thought
when
that was
everybody
really
had
cool.
like owl decor in their kitchens and stuff? Owls were big for a while.
Yeah. I remember ducks back in the day. That was the 90s though. What are you seeing as far as current food trends? What are you seeing at wedding? Is things changing?
A lot of gluten-free and a lot of, I think everybody has an allergy nowadays, which is fine. We manage it very well, but a lot of gluten-free. Stations are still hot. I think people they want to get away from the formal dinner and they want people up and mingling. So I think that's going to be around a while.
Yeah.
But I do see like vintage aspects of weddings. Like now the vintage cake is popular, right? Well, I kind of think, older aspects like vintage aspects of weddings are going to come back. Like the dollar dance might come back. That might come back.
God, I'm vintage.
But I'm
Hey,
just
I
saying.
made good money on that dance.
Well, I mean, I think everything has a season, and the seasons kind of repeat, a little bit.
So when you say vintage wedding cakes, is it like the pillars, like and
that piping,
the stairs? Yep.
Yeah, like all that frosting now, and
for a while there, it was like very light frosting where the cake was showing.
it was
and
like
I feel
naked.
like that's going away. Yeah.
Then we went very smooth. Then we were fondant, right? We were fondant, and it was very smooth. And then we went naked cakes, and now we're back to full on frosting with frills.
I love it. I think that's really cool.
Can you believe we've been doing this that long where we've seen all these trends?
I've just realized that I'm vintage and my wedding was vintage because everything that's coming back that you mentioned was at my wedding. The dollar dance, the freaking pillars in my cake, that was all there.
Did you have mason jars too? Yeah, mason jars are big. Remember mason jars?
No, I
and
didn't have
burlap.
those.
And baby's breath. Yeah.
I did
Baby's
have
breath
baby's
has
breath.
made a comeback, but it's
Baby's
not in a
breath is
mason
big.
jar anymore. Now it's big spools of
Huge
baby's
breath. But
baby's breath is hot right now.
They stink, those. Baby's breath stinks. And if you're doing a summer wedding, it smells like hell.
Oh.
So
okay.
bad.
Yeah.
Stinks.
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
How do you approach building a menu for a couple?
Well, I love it when they go off of what our menus of what we make and what we know is tried and true. But I try to get them, this is their most important dinner party they're ever going to have in their life. And they're spending a ton of money.
Yeah.
So I do like it when they customize their signature drink. I try to have them get creative there. Where did you guys meet? Where did you go on your first date? Did you go on a vacation?
Yeah.
Let's do a station. One time I had a couple, they got engaged in the Swiss Alps.
Oh,
and I said, oh my
cool.
God, let's do like a raclette cheese station, like a fondue Swiss station.
That's cute,
and we
'cause that's
did.
very
it was
reflective.
fun.
That's
yeah.
reflective of them as a couple.
Oh, I love it.
I do that when couples coming in as a destination wedding in Florida. Like I know raw bars are big and the seafood is big and
Coconuts.
things like that.
Yeah.
Coconuts are big. We've done a lot of coconut like hydration stations with the coconuts. Those are cool.
Love.
I
Yeah.
love them, and they're also personalized. When they like brand them, they're so personalized, and it looks great for pictures too, just on the behind the scenes.
I think anything goes now for your wedding. You just have to be creative and think outside the box a little bit.
What is a memorable experience or a like super unique weird request you've received?
Super
Food-wise.
weird request. Oh gosh, super weird request. I can't think of anything, but we've had all sorts of scenarios. Oh well,
Oh, she's got one.
we had something happen with a bartender at a recent wedding.
Stop. Tell
One
me.
of the guests showed a picture of his hoo-ha to the bartender.
What?
Yeah, just last week.
Was that our wedding?
Yeah.
Stop. Tell me more.
I swear to God.
This won't air for a couple of weeks, and you're safe.
He loved. He loved our bartender, and he felt that she needed to see a picture of his
Oh wait, it was him.
private parts. Yeah. So that was weird. That happened just a couple days ago. But guests are
also
weird.
get tipped
We
or no?
also had last weekend at another wedding on Sunday. We had a guest get. I think he showed up pre-drinking. He was
Pre-party.
already hammered because we don't overserve.
Yeah.
And he kept asking for coffee. So I knew him as like the coffee guy. Well, turns out he was given a speech, probably got nervous, had way too much to drink. He got so drunk right before the bride and groom made an exit. Literally, the paramedics came, took him out on a stretcher, and then the bride and groom did their sparkler send-off. So that was crazy. That just happened last week. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's not so much the couples. It's like,
It's the guests.
It's the guests or the mother-in-law or something.
Yeah. We had a wedding, and it was one of those where somebody underage, it wasn't your wedding with us, but it was somebody underage got a hold of a bottle and was drinking the whole time, and nobody was watching this underage kid, and ends up puking all over the dance floor. And, the venue's looking at me and I'm looking at them and I'm like, sorry, we draw the line at bodily fluids.
Right.
That's where you charge a cleanup fee and get it fixed. But it was one of those things where, we're always watching guests and we can kind of tell right off the bat who's getting cut off. Yeah. Right off the bat. Yeah. But they do. They have cooler. I mean, and like you said, some of these in the Sticks weddings, they got coolers in the back seat.
Yeah.
Oh, they've pre-gamed
and
at
they've
my
been
rehearsal.
drinking for days. They've been going hard for days since the rehearsal dinner.
For sure. And I've had guys show up, like groomsmen show up to the rehearsal with 6-packs. Like, I'm like, wait, already? It's like noon. Yeah. What are we doing, guys?
Well, making memories. That's what we're doing.
That was very memorable. So wait, so he walks up, orders a drink, and then says, by the way.
Well, he was flirting with her all night, I guess.
And how did she react? I'm dying to know how she.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I just heard the story today from my staffing manager. So he was flirting with her all night. He ordered a drink and he's like, do you want to see something? She's like, sure. And he goes, leaves, comes back, orders another drink. And he's like, here, I want to show you. And it was his. And he goes, are you impressed? And she goes, no, I'm depressed.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Poor Anna. Yeah, sorry, Anna.
Anna,
God, that opens up a whole
on the next episode of This Takes the Cake. Yeah. Anna's on her next
Bartending
episode.
101.
She'll be coming up next. Everybody stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Don't invite that guy to your wedding, though. If you know there's a guy that's going to cause
every party.
If you know someone's going to be crazy, just don't invite them.
Turning into a more relaxed environment. How do you handle unexpected? Thank God he didn't do that to the planner. I mean, thank God, because I really would expect that from some, because the bridal party and the guests are always constantly.
And this guy was in the bridal party apparently, and his wife and his kids were at the wedding.
Okay, so after this, we're gonna go through some pictures, and then we're gonna see.
I don't know who he is. I can't pin him.
That's
I can't
amazing.
Point him out,
I think that might have been the same. I think that might have been the same one that asked Becca out on a date. Becca gets asked out every wedding, though. Becca's a hot commodity.
Of course she does. She's hottie. Yeah.
I need to hire uglier girls.
No.
How do you handle unexpected issues, bad weather, last minute menu changes, things like that come up?
Weather, there's nothing we can do about that. I've just stopped looking at the weather because literally there's nothing we can do.
You always have a tent or some kind of backup.
If there's a good planning team, then we have a plan B.
This is true.
Plan B. But unexpected things, there's always a surprise vegetarian. There's always a kid or something. We plan for the unexpected. We bring more than what we need. We try to cover our ass.
I had that happen at one venue. We had set out the final timeline with 106 guest count, 106 meals, blah, blah, blah. And I know you. So I know you guys always have extra. You always have something. You always have a plan. Plus you have vendor meals to account for and things like that. And the day of the wedding, the catering company's like, well, we had our count as 100. We don't have those 6 other meals. And I'm like, okay, yes, you do. But she's like, we never received this, and literally went to the bride and groom without us and was like, we never received this from the planner. We didn't know that we don't have enough food, which I don't even understand why you're bringing it to the bride and groom. Just go to Publix and get food.
Go to Publix. Go to the restaurant next door.
But what happened was we pulled the email showing we had sent it to her. And she was like, well, I didn't get that. Yeah. And then we pulled the email of her responding, thanks so much. I'll update my files. Yeah. And apparently was never updated. And
Amateur. You always bring extra. You always order extra. When you look on your rental list, if you got 100 guests, you're going to see that Laura Ashley Catering makes you buy 110 forks because we need 10 extra. Grandma drops her fork. So and so, this weekend too. This weekend was kind of crazy now that I think about it. We had Doug, who just showed up, and the bride, literally before she goes down the aisle, she goes, Laura, she goes, that guy Doug, he did an RSVP. We don't have a seat for him. I said, no problem. I got a seat. I talked to my captain. I said, we need to find a seat for this Doug fella who's in the jeans. He showed up to this wedding in jeans.
3 days later, and you remember
Doug
this
didn't
Doug.
RSVP, and he showed up in jeans. We got to find a spot for
Thanks,
him. And
Doug.
we fed him, and we didn't
Doug
charge.
partied all night.
Yeah.
Wait, was this my wedding? Was Doug the flasher?
No. Doug was at another wedding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks, Doug.
Yeah.
We prepare for people
But
like you.
you
Bob.
have people like that. You're going to have someone show up. You're going
somebody's
to have
dropping a
someone
fork.
bring a +1 that doesn't.
We had that at a venue. Two guests showed up and they're like, "We don't have a seat. We're not on the seating chart." And I said, "Okay, did you RSVP?" We did RSVP, but we said we couldn't come. But we had no plans, so we figured we'd stop by. How nice!
Well, you should have brought a chair and a sandwich. That's what we say in the industry. If you don't RSVP, you need to bring a chair and a sandwich. That's the joke, right?
I love that. I'm totally
Stupid
putting that on my
people.
timeline going forward. If
Yeah.
any guests haven't RSVP'd, please bring a chair and a sandwich.
It's the truth.
How do you? This is a double question because I have two questions because I just thought of them. One reading this one. So I know you have kid menus and things like that. You have kids coming. How do you elevate a child's dish? Because it's always nuggies and by the way, your mac and cheese. Becca didn't even eat her vendor meal. She just pounded the mac and cheese.
We use Velveeta for our mac and cheese.
It
That's
was
the
so
best
good.
mac and cheese. Okay, so we elevate it. We put it in a basket. We do the little paper. The little mini fryer baskets. I try to do that.
Those are
We try to incorporate a vegetable, but at the end of the day, kids are picky. So we just do a chicken tender, mac and cheese,
French
veggie
fries,
cup, ranch
whatever,
dressing. $19.99, easy.
I love it. Party
Have
like
you
it's
ever had a
over.
bride order a kid's meal before?
No, but I have vendors who want kids meals.
Oh, okay.
I have one of my favorite DJs is like, I want chicken nuggies.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, really?
Yeah,
We're getting.
I've had several brides that are like, I don't care about food. I just want chicken nuggets. And I'm like, okay. No
I have
problem.
had a lot of chicken nugget late night stations because the couple love chicken nuggets.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So how do you accommodate dietary restrictions on the second half of my question with all the allergies and things like that without compromising flavor?
Yeah. Well, we're primarily a gluten-free kitchen because I just got so sick of, buying specials. So we already, our panko breadcrumbs is gluten-free, our flour is gluten-free. So we try to run
That's smart,
gluten-free.
'cause
Yeah.
non-gluten-free
Nobody notices the
people are not
difference.
gonna notice
They
the
don't
difference.
know. Yeah. So we try to do that. And then for vegans, I love to do a really cool, creative vegan dish because I feel like vegans for many years just got like a plate of pasta,
That's true.
So we try to do that. And then nut allergy. If I'm talking to the client and I know there's a lot of allergies, I try to steer them from the get-go. Like, okay, if 5 of your people have nut allergies, let's not offer nuts.
Yeah, let's not offer a pecan crusted salmon or something.
Yeah, let's just not have it there because the last thing you want is the damn ambulance showing up to your wedding. That ruins the vibe.
That does. It kind of kills the party.
Yeah.
We've had it. We've had it happen a couple times.
Yeah.
And so you kind of just start out from the beginning, and that doesn't compromise. Because I did have a bride who was gluten free, and she's like, "I need you to go cake tasting with me." Well, hell, I'm not turning that down.
Yeah.
But she's like, "I need you to tell me if it tastes bad, because as a gluten free, eater, I won't.
Yeah.
It won't. I ate all of them. I'm like, pick whatever you want.
Yeah.
You're not, and she goes, well, how do I tell the guests like this one? I said, just do a gluten-free cake. They're not going to know.
Nobody
It's not going
knows.
to hurt them.
No.
Just
nobody
do
knows.
it. And so she did, and nobody had any idea.
Nobody knows.
For sure. Walk us through a typical wedding day for your team, because I know you guys start early. You and I are texting like from 9 a.m.
Happy wedding day. That's what I start. I try to start every morning with texting my bride and telling her, listen, today you're going to go slow. You're going to keep a glass of champagne in your hand. You're not going to worry about anything. I'll see you at noon. But so we start with that. Then I'm in the car and I'm on the way to the venue to receive the rentals, to check it in, to make sure all of our forks and knives and all that came in. Then we start probably setting up about noon, and it takes about a good 4 hours to set up a wedding, to do it right, but with furniture, tables, chairs, all of that. And then our kitchen team arrives about 2 o'clock. Their kitchen's set up. We start getting salads ready. We start plating. We get the hydration station ready. I always tell my crew, we are following the guest. So if the guest gets there, we got to make sure the ceremony's set up, everything that the guest is going to see, that's the sequence we need to work in.
It's true.
Don't start on the late night snack station if ceremony's not set up yet.
Yeah. And we do ceremony and then we do cocktail and then we do reception. We have our setup times on.
Yeah. And then we're just running like chickens with our heads cut off. That's what we do.
Totally fine. But you bring in a whole kitchen to the venue and you pretty much set up anything. How do you essentially have you ever run into an issue with the ovens not working that you rented?
Yeah.
Stop. Tell me.
Well, there's a reason why I only use a few rental companies because, propane, you don't want to mess around with that. It's dangerous. A lot of these companies don't check their equipment. It's riding around on trucks on a bumpy road, so it's sketchy.
Yeah.
Getting all your cooking equipment. So I only use a few companies, but yeah, we've had an oven not work before.
So do you test your stuff before the wedding day? Or you just
well, we plug it in.
Whole hair
my ovens always work, knock on wood. But the big ones that I have to rent, we've had a situation where a gas line or something it was Chef Peter. He was out there and he was able to cook the whole wedding in a toaster oven. But thank God we prepare, if you order mashed potatoes from us, the mashed potatoes are going to come to your wedding hot.
Yeah.
Because that's something nobody's going to know.
No.
And if you take cold mashed potatoes to a wedding, it takes 2 hours for a pan of mashed potatoes to heat up.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't know it. But so we try to bring some key components that are hot in advance, and that'll save your butt.
I love Chef Peter. I love messing with him. He's really fun to pick on.
Yeah, he's great.
He juggles and he refuses to tell me. I'm like, no, you seriously, just do it. He's like, I can't. I was like, just do it. Yeah. So then he found some limes and juggled for me again. But it was so funny because I was like, I said to him, so you're like Laura's #1 microwaver, right? And he's like, I don't microwave.
We don't microwave anything.
It was so
unless
hilarious.
we get in a really bad jam, really bad situation. Yeah. But isn't it nice to know the staff and
it's fun.
So important with catering because you want to know who to go to and these servers are they're taking care of your crew.
Exactly. And that's the thing is once you know everybody, it's so fun to work with them day in and day out. They know we got their back, they got our back, and then and it's I can run in there and know, hey, I need this real quick, and
you don't really want to hire a catering company where all their servers are temporary or come from Miami or that is just disaster waiting to happen.
We've done that on our few of our overseas weddings. They just kind of bring in staff where they can bring them in.
Nobody knows what to do. They've never worked with each other. Nobody knows who's in charge. that's a recipe for disaster.
And working at a restaurant's very different than an event.
It's a whole nother monster.
We had a wedding that was a private residence wedding and they did food trucks and I'm like, that's great, but who's bussing the tables? Who's serving the pouring waters? Who's doing the? Oh no, they said they have enough staff. Well, there was 100 people, so there was about 10 tables. They brought 2 people for the buffet line and we were serving champagne. We were cutting the cake.
Grandma was bussing the table.
We were bussing the tables and it was one of those things where I'm like, this is not what it was supposed to be. But obviously my team's going to jump in wherever they need to. Right. But it was funny because when we were bussing the plates and bringing them back to the back where she could rinse them off and she had a hose out there and she looked at my planner and she goes, I'm going to need help hosing these dishes. And she's like, well, then you better call staff because you're lucky I'm bussing these tables. We have to go into speeches. We have to do this. We have to do that. So it was one of those things where we were like,
can you imagine?
Oh, it really
I would literally never, ever say that.
We were shocked because we're over here. We had 3 girls on there and we're running.
You don't have your own stuff to do, and a lot of my friends are planners, run the wedding. And they tell me these nightmare stories about. There's a caterer in our area that will do the job and literally leave as soon as the food is served. They won't bus the table. They don't stay till the end. They don't take out the trash. And I'm just like, how are you even still in business? Yeah. But I hear these nightmare stories and.
Well, we had that one caterer who did a whole speech, a whole ass speech at the wedding about the food.
Yeah, that's weird.
Came out, I want to discuss the food with you. It was a good 5 to 7 minute speech about the food. And everybody's kind of like, what? This is not tableside guac. What are you doing?
You're not a gourmet chef.
And it's not about you. It's about the couple.
Yeah. Make signs for your buffet.
I remember that wedding. We were coming up with a really fun signature drink with them. And you always had the cutest like presentation. You had little limes, little.
Oh yeah, you
so
gotta
fun.
have fun with it.
Let's see. How do you ensure your food presentation matches the overall theme of the wedding? We talked about this a little bit because the ranch weddings, the I do barbecues, you still want them elevated, but it's not going to match a Flagler wedding or a corporate event. So how do you kind of reflect the couple in your food?
Yeah, well, we always love to put an edible flower on something. I'm big on the va-va-voom, and we try to do, if it's a more upscale, we do more modern plating. Maybe it's a little smaller, maybe more gourmet ingredients. But, I think all in all, we just try to do a good job no matter what, and we just try to give people the best meal of their life. I want people talking about your wedding food like 20 years from now.
I always talk about your food. I think it's amazing. And I love when you did over the summer, we did it. And I know you started it during COVID. We talked about it at the wedding. The
happy hour in a box.
Yeah, happy hour in a box. I got 4th of July in a box.
Yep.
It was so cute because the box came and you had flags in there and sunglasses.
So during COVID, we couldn't do events, obviously. So I basically had to revamp my whole business into delivery, which was awful. And, I felt bad for people. They were sitting at home with masks on and they had nothing to do. And so I said, well, let's do like a luau, but we'll put it in a box for 4 people. And the kids will wear the leis and they'll eat coconut shrimp. Yeah,
I did. Awesome.
It became for 2 years. Every holiday was in a box, and we would turn my servers into delivery drivers, and that's how I saved my business. Thank God we did that.
It was awesome because my husband was like, "What's this?" I'm like, "It's 4th of July in a box." He's like, "I don't know what you're saying right now, but it comes with reheating instructions.
Yeah,
it comes with the little the
tablecloth,
the
checkered
tablecloth. It came with the alcohol. You just had to add the alcohol to the mix.
Yep.
It was awesome. We had so much fun with it. New Year's Eve, nobody wants to drive anywhere. Reservations are a nightmare.
It's kind of like a no-brainer. Open the box. It's like a party in a box.
Yeah, you had little pigs in a blanket.
We don't do it anymore, thank God.
Ever?
We might bring it back. It's one of those things like people don't really have a need for it anymore. I think during COVID, it was needed.
I think it could be certain holidays or certain things. Like I get the 4th of July is
maybe Christmas in a box
maybe,
for all those people.
Like a Christmas Eve, or maybe like I think you could do it for elderly people.
Yeah.
Or a Valentine's. A lot of people don't want to go out on Valentine's Day because it's. Yeah. But I think it'd be really cute to like a carpet
romantic
picnic.
dinner in a box.
Yeah, carpet picnic in a box or something like that. We'll talk.
We'll make you a box anytime you want.
Yay. I do love it. How do you balance creativity with planning a wedding menu and budgets?
Right.
Because that can get.
I know, budget.
Wah.
And the cost of food has gone up so much.
Everything has.
Yeah.
Your edible flowers have to be through the roof.
Oh yeah.
Because I know regular flowers you can't eat are through the roof.
Yeah, everything is just so expensive. So I think it's just getting creative, using starches or cheaper ingredients and reworking them where they look different or they're fried or, thinking outside of the box with taking these ingredients and making them something different and unique. But, I'm always budget conscious. I always want to keep people in their budget. But we just try to give them a nice quality experience. At the end of the day, it has to taste good. It has to be hot.
Yeah.
Those are the key factors to a good meal. It has to have good service, hot, and taste good.
And one thing I love that you guys do is you allow your couples to buy their own alcohol.
Yeah. I don't want to carry all that alcohol.
But
it's
also,
heavy.
They know what their guests are drinking more. So if they don't have a lot of red wine drinkers, spend that money on tequila or vodka or whatever it might be. And I think that's super, because anything that you don't open, you can return after the wedding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I really love that you do that as well.
Yeah, we even give you a shopping list, and if your mom wants to provide this super expensive wine, sure, go ahead, no problem. Just bring it. We'll serve it. I don't charge a corkage fee, I probably should. But I mean, bring your alcohol. That's fine. I'll bring the sodas, the limes, I'll make sure all the important stuff is there, like ice.
Mixers and ice and things like that.
You just bring the alcohol.
What do you find is the most rewarding of being involved with someone's day through food?
That it goes well, because I've heard so many stories. I love it when a couple comes to me, because essentially this is the biggest dinner party they've ever had, they're ever going to have in their life. It's the most expensive dinner party they're ever going to have.
And it's memorable.
They're like 25 years old. They don't even know anything about salad forks or dinner forks. They're scared to death. So the fact that I get to be there and like hold their hand and say, listen, okay, this is how we're going to do it, you know?
Well, you just got a great text from a bride over the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, we're sitting here and I mean, I
someone
think
just sent me $1,000, you know,
but it's like everything was flawless. And that to me is like, means everything.
Yeah. Well, you know, and there's a lot riding on this. This is two families coming together. You know, you got your mother-in-law who's probably picking this thing apart. You know,
judging everybody you booked.
Yeah. And, you know, then you got your best friend who's, you know, she got married last year, so she knows everything. And, you know, this is the truth. And, you know, we're here to help. And I just love it when it goes well. When clients tell me, Laura, my people still call me and tell me how good the food was. I mean, there's no better feeling than that.
It's so true. And to us, you guys like us, when we have our vendors on our preferred list, it's because they put their heart and soul into your day. Yeah. We could be with our families. We could be at soccer tournaments. We could be doing all these other things, but we're there for you on your day. Yeah. And you can tell. You can tell. When you get that text the next day of everything was amazing, thank you for everything, it's like it warms your heart because it's like, you know, and it makes you feel so good.
We're doing God's work here. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. What tips and tricks do you have, or tips mainly for couples who are trying to work on a seasonal menu? Do you find that's a good idea or a bad idea, or just go with their favorite good idea?
Let's do it. Yeah, get creative. I think, well, first look and see what's in season, see what's affordable, what's in your range, and then you know, go to some really great gourmet restaurants, start trying stuff. I mean, you don't know until you know, and you know, really expose yourself to techniques of cooking, terminology. You know, educate yourself a little bit on this dinner, and you know, we'll guide you, we'll help you.
Yeah, and make it reflective of them as a couple, like you were saying.
And then come in for a tasting. Let's try it out. You know,
see what?
Yeah. Chef Peter loves a good challenge. You know, we love like going outside the box for our clients.
I think it's a lot of fun. What's your favorite dish to prepare, and why?
Everybody asks me this. I don't know. I love cooking like Asian, Oriental flavors.
Oh, that's fun.
Those are fun because it's like fusion. But I love good like Italian bistro. Oof. You know, like I love food. So it's hard to say. It's like saying, you know, which kid is your favorite kid? You know,
I know
like
that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you just can't. You know, it's hard. But I love it all. I love all of it. Yeah. I love a good theme. Give me a theme.
I do like a good theme.
I love a theme. I can go nuts for that.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's fun because that's when you really get your creative juices flowing. Oh my God. Like
Tell me you love Mexican food, I'll create a whole Mexican menu.
And if somebody said, I'm having a Harry Potter wedding.
Yeah, butterbeer. Hello. In the copper Moscow mules, you know, with a little dry ice, and we can like, I've already done a Harry Potter wedding.
I love it.
Yeah, but no, I love a theme.
This next question is really funny because I don't think she knows, but when our marketing girl wrote these questions, but it's actually hits close to home because it says, design your dream wedding menu. What would it be? And you are recently engaged.
Yeah.
You did good.
4.5 carats.
And you're marrying
a chef.
What? That's so shocking.
I know. A chef.
Do you guys have
Chef Neil?
Do you have battle in the kitchen? Do you battle it out?
No, but we love champagne and caviar. We eat very well.
Yeah. I bet.
It's nice because, you know, I come home and it's someone that, you know, speaks my language. And then like I work every Saturday night. I can't date a banker. You know, I can't be with someone that, you know, is home on the weekends because I'm not. You know, I need someone that has Monday and Tuesday off.
And how'd you guys meet?
Okay. All right. So do I tell the whole story? Like,
if you want.
All right. So I own a catering business, and I had a chef that was, he called out, he walked off the job that day, and I was driving out to Ever After Farms. I probably was driving out to the wedding that we were working. I don't know, but
I think you stopped me on the road because I was running to get something, and you stopped me. You said something about a coffee pot. You forgot a coffee pot or something, and then like something.
I don't know, but this guy called me, Neil, and it was an LA number, and I was like, ooh, maybe this is an LA planner, and so I pick up the phone, and I was like, hi, Laura Ashley Catering, and he's like, hello. He's English, you know. I do the accent. Hello, can I speak to your hiring department? And I said, yeah, this is the hiring department.
I remember this conversation that day.
Yeah. And he goes, well, I'm a chef moving from LA. I'm looking for a job. I was like, get out of here. I said, I just had a chef like walk off the job today. Can you start Monday? And so he started, and, you know, I instantly had a crush on him.
Really?
Yeah, instantly. And
Because
then
you tasted his food or no?
no, I just liked his blue eyes. Yeah. So, but then he went and started working in the area, doing other things. He, went and branched out, and then we kind of reconnected like a year ago. But we've always been friends.
Yeah. And he's a private chef.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
He was Snoop Dogg's private chef. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I love telling that. I'm like, go, babe.
So what is your wedding menu? Are we working on it?
Yeah. Well, we haven't made the menu yet, but we know we don't want a sit-down formal dinner. We're going to get married on New Year's Eve.
I love it.
And so we're just going to have a fabulous...
I'm invited.
We have a fabulous, ritzy party. And the theme is black tie, sequins, feathers, or fur.
Gatsby.
Yeah, very Gatsby, like old Florida, but not costumey. It's not a costume party, but just very glam. You got to buy something with sequins.
Yeah. I'm excited. I like sequins. It makes me look skinny.
Yeah. Okay.
How can couples? Congratulations, by the way. We are so excited for you.
I never thought this would happen to me. I've just been doing everybody else's wedding. I'm like, oh, it's my turn.
I followed the story because I remember that conversation. You're like, I just got this call from LA. Da, 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 da. And I was like, that's funny. Things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yep. God has a plan.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Wait for the right one. Don't just settle for some.
This is true.
Joe Schmo. Yeah.
Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
Don't settle for Doug.
No.
Doug, who doesn't RSVP.
Yeah. Oh God.
How can couples, event planners get in touch with you to start planning their menus, start booking, and how far in advance do you prefer them to start booking your catering? Because when we tell them,
we book up fast.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, like, to me, florals can do a couple weddings in a day. Hair and makeup teams can do a couple weddings. Your catering, your rentals even too. Catering, rentals, entertainment, photography. Once their date is gone, their date is gone. Let's lock them in first.
Because we only have so many good staff members. That's the thing. I don't want to pull people from Miami. So, when I'm out of bartenders, I'm out of bartenders. Mm-hmm. But I think a year out is good. You should definitely, the first step is to hire a planner. If you go on our Instagram, there's a step process after you get engaged. But your first step is to hire a planner. Then you want to pick your venue, fall in love with your venue. Your venue determines your date. And then once you have your venue, then if you're going to need catering. And then I would say hire the caterer next, and then probably photography, and then music, all that.
Yeah.
You walk them through it. But we book up pretty fast. There's only 4 Saturdays in a month. So you have to consider that,
true.
And if you're getting married in February around Valentine's Day, forget about it.
Not even we'll make it happen. Forget about it.
Yeah, just, don't do a holiday.
No, it's like she's doing New Year's Eve.
I'm doing New Year's Eve.
Don't follow her.
Holidays are more expensive.
Do what I say, not what I do.
Yeah.
So how can couples
company.
get in touch with you to start doing their menu and getting ready for their wedding?
Yeah, so you can always call me on my phone. I always pick up the phone, but I'm going to direct you to the website so you can fill out a quote request form. So that's where that form is going to give us some information. It's in black and white. We get your email, all your info, and then we'll send you a quote probably in about 2 days.
And what you do weddings from 20 people up to as many as you need.
20 people. Yeah, we'll do 20 people. It's going to be pricey.
Yeah.
But my comfort level is like 600, I haven't done a wedding for 600, but I'm doing a gala this weekend. But, we can make it happen.
You're going to make that gala your bitch.
Oh, every year. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming out and being here and talking all things food with us. Thanks for having me. Next time we'll have you on. We'll have a little plate of apps.
Yeah, we're going to have some wine next time.
We'll have some wine. We'll chit chat. We'll go over everything.
Yeah, maybe we should do like a little mixology thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll do a course.
Signature cocktail 101.
Yes. I'll bring the alcohol. That'll be so fun.
I'll bring the ice.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Don't forget to give us a follow. I'm again Jacque from Stunning and Brilliant Events Palm Beach office. Laura Ashley Catering. Follow us on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and then also follow us on Instagram at Stunning and Brilliant Events, as well as at This Takes the Cake. Wow. Follow us on all the things social media. We'll see you next time.
Thanks. Bye.